And Selma Go Griffin Hunting tells the story of a mother, played by Pollyanna McIntosh, who brings her daughter, played by Milly Shapiro from Hereditary, on a sacred rite of passage hunt to kill a mythical creature, because her daughter can't be accepted into society as a quote unquote proper woman until she's fulfilled this dogmatic ritual. And tensions ensue when it becomes clear that mom wants Millie to do it one way, and she has other ideas about how she wants to carry this out.
Awesome. So the first thing I want to point out is that the effects in this thing are studio level. It's a short film, but they're studio level. I mean, it's Game of Thrones and beyond. Because of that, this took you 4 years to complete to reach that quality. So in that stretch of 4 years, what kept you motivated to keep this thing alive?
I mean, once you're in it deep, there's no turning back, you know? I mean, a lot of people worked really hard on this film, and I owed it to them to make sure I saw it all the way through, even if it hurt sometimes. And thankfully, I wasn't alone. I had an amazing team, mostly handpicked visual effects artists from every continent but Antarctica, basically. Worked all sorts of crazy hours with, a wonderful lead animator in London. Flopped my days for 6 months to accommodate that.
Keep his name.
Um, Andy Fraser, phenomenal animator. And yeah, you just figure out a way to do it. And I wasn't alone. I had wonderful people, but I knew that I had to be the cheerleader and the ringleader and the coach and all the things. And I was happy to do that because it taught me a lot. And I wanted the film to be the best it could be because I'm a director. That's my job.
Excellent. And then Roger, for you, how did you team up with Alex? How did you guys find each other?
Well, the first time I met Alex, we were at a party and the man ate about 14 hot dogs because he was a starving artist. I remember he just sucked down one hot dog after another. It was really kind of weird. And then we just had a long conversation and we both realized how much we loved the same type of cinema. We really engaged each other in our love of what we loved. And I'm a cinephile. He is a cinephile, and it really just came from there. And I know he was trying to do the movie a couple of times. It was a stop and start kind of a scenario. And then finally, even after Veronica turned you down once to make the film, a good friend of ours, Veronica Radaeli. But then he came to me and I just said, fuck it, let's do it. And then we did it.
Height of the pandemic too.
And then it was during the pandemic, and we went up into a place near Big Bear called Crestline. Was it Crestline? But it was a and in spirit of making the film, it was a camaraderie that was instantaneous, even with the crew, because we all had to bunker together in all these little rooms, right? And everybody was sharing bunk beds and shit like that. And I'm telling you, there was a team spirit in the G&E crew and everybody that worked on that film. It was a labor of love, and not enough of the BTL, below the line people get credit in films. It's all about ATL, and I'm telling you, the BTL in this was fantastic.
We got
and
really
I love
lucky.
those motherfuckers. I love them to death.
Yeah, and they loved working on it too because they knew it was someone's baby. It was more than just a paycheck. It was like, oh, this is some weirdo's like obsessive like 10 year in the making thing, and that brings a special energy to the set. And I was very very grateful that we had the people that we had.
So Pollyanna, so you're acting with Milly Shapiro. It's very grounded and it's very real, and you're acting against not only each other but the CG creatures. So how do you accomplish that feat?
Well, Millie is such a pleasure to work with, and I'd admired her work before. I actually think that they identify as they, and there was some cruelty in what I was doing, but it was well written, and I felt the character was well rounded, so I could feel grounded in that world. And the CGI stuff wasn't so difficult for me to imagine because Alex was so passionate, and had these wonderful storyboards done. Also, the cool thing is what a griffin looks like. It's a known mythical beast. So I could imagine the wingspan and the lion-esque claws and the big beak and everything. And also just knew exactly what she wanted to do to these creatures. So that kind of grounded me in the story as well. Yeah, it was a real pleasure. It was a bizarre world that we stepped into, but it was such a joy. And again, I just want to echo, like Roger brought together an extraordinary crew, and they were really cool.
Yeah. So Alex, there is a title card in the end credits that says no AI was used in the production. Can you tell me your thoughts on AI and filmmaking? I know it's a big question.
I
and we
have
don't have all
no
the time in
hot
the world.
takes. No hot takes. Look, it's a tool. It will eventually, we'll find a way to integrate into the pipeline in a way that's meaningful, that's efficient, that's artistically meritorious. Right now, no one really knows what that means. I'm excited by some of the possibilities, but also I'm I want to approach cautiously. I don't like the idea of not being able to have some of the my animation team, right? We talked about Andy Fraser, but like a small team of unbelievably gifted animators. I got to work very closely with them. They work on Marvel movies by day, and on weekends and at night they'd work on my crazy little movie. I mean, our creature designer Gabriel Beauvais and Greg Stranges, they were my lieutenants in this, throughout this crazy process. And it really is like working with an actor just across an extremely distended timeline, where if you're lucky, 2 seconds of usable animation in a week is like a great week of work. That
You definitely see the personality in the creatures.
Yeah,
I saw
yeah,
the finished
yeah.
product for the first time last night, and you really see their personality, and it's nuanced. And I just don't think you can create that with AI at the moment.
Yeah, and
Not yet.
I like being able to evince a certain degree of autonomy over the choices we're making. And in the case of the creatures, I'm asking the audience to buy into a world that feels completely lived in. The way I like to pitch the movie sometimes, half jokingly, is like if Ingmar Bergman took a stroll through Jurassic Park as rewritten by John Steinbeck, that's kind of what this short film feels like. And so I wanted this to feel like a world that felt lived in, that felt organic, that had a kind of neo-Western patina to it, hence the black and white. And I wanted you to believe from the jump that, oh, these creatures are just part and parcel with this reality. They're not movie monsters. This is not a creature feature. These are, biologically plausible animals that inhabit this world. And we're using them as a metaphorical fairy tale storytelling device to explore the themes of the story.
Perfect. And final question, what comes next?
We'll see. There's a whole bunch of feature things that have been gestating for a number of years with different companies, and I'm hoping that the arithmetic on getting those financed will change in the wake of this, but we will see. We will see.
Congratulations, was great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're